Hello students, in today's video of oil hydraulics and pneumatics unit 4 we will see regarding the types of air compressor which are used in the pneumatic system. Previously in our previous lecture we have seen what are the different types of introduction to the pneumatic system and what are the different components of the pneumatic system and what is its layout. Now before we move to the types of compressor, we'll just have a look to the basic components of the pneumatic system. This is the compressor. It is having an intake filter. The compressed air is passing through the cooler, and from cooler it is passing through the separator where all the foreign particles, moisture is removed, and thereafter it is stored in the receiver. Receiver contains a pressure switch which controls the supply and stoppage of the air. If pressure reaches to the maximum limit, the motor control will operate and motor of the compressor will stop, and if pressure drops to particular limit, again the motor control will turn on the compressor to fill it. After that, from the receiver there is a secondary air treatment unit, and through which air is supplied to the control valve, and from control valve to the actuator where mechanical work is done. So this is the layout of an pneumatic system. Now let us see what are the different components, or how many types of compressors are there. Now first of all, what do you mean by air compressor? So it is a mechanical device which converts mechanical energy into fluid energy. The compressor increases the air pressure by reducing its volume, which also increases the temperature of the compressed air. Now we are familiar with the compressor. In hydraulic system also we have seen different types of compressors. So compressor is a mechanical device which utilize electrical energy or some chemical energy if driven by the IC engine. It reduces the volume of the air and store it in the receiver, and as the air is compressed the temperature increases. The compressor is selected based on the pressure it needs to operate and delivery volume. So it depends on how much volume is required to be delivered. So that is how the compressor is selected based on the delivery of amount of air which is required. The compressor can be classified into two main types, that is positive displacement compressor and dynamic displacement compressor. The positive displacement compressor includes piston type, vane type, diaphragm type and screw type compressors. You all are familiar with all these types of compressors which previously you have studied. Here we will again have a brief look to the all different types of compressor. Now this is the piston compressor. Piston compressor are commonly used in pneumatic system. The simplest form is here. You can see the construction. This is the it looks like an IC engine. It has intake port and delivery port. So as the piston moves from top to bottom, the air is entered, then the intake valve closes, and thereafter it is compressed, and as it is compressed at particular level, it is delivered through the outlet pump. So here this compressor is driven by some electric device or by some engine by the help of prime mover. This is the crankshaft, connecting rod and piston which reciprocates. Here these are the fins which are provided, which plays a role to reduce the internal temperature of the air. As the piston moves from top to bottom, means from TDC to BDC, this is the top dead center to the bottom dead center, the inlet valve opens and air is drawn into the cylinder. Thereafter, when piston moves in upward direction from BDC, this is the bottom dead center, to TDC, top dead center, inlet valve is closed, and thereafter it allows the air to compress, and thereafter as it is spring loaded, it reaches to particular pressure, the valve will lift and the air will be delivered to the separator and from separator to the receiver or through the cooler, intercooler. So the pressure developed is about 3 to 40 bars depending on the capacity of the compressor and range of the compressor which is used. Now the double acting compressor, this was the single acting compressor. Now let us see what is double acting compressor. The pulsation of air can be reduced by using the double acting compressor as shown in the figure. So it has two set of valve and a cross head. As the piston moves, the air is compressed on one side, whilst on the other side of the piston the air is sucked in. So due to the reciprocating action of the piston, there is a compressed and delivered twice in one piston stroke. The pressure higher than 30 bar can be produced. So here you can see this is the double acting compressor, that it is having two inlet port or inlet valve you can say and two outlet. So when piston is moving from left to right, at that time this will act as an intake valve and this will act as a delivery valve. And when piston moves from right to left, then at that time suction will take place through this inlet valve and delivery will take place through this outlet valve. So continuous supply of air will be obtained at every reciprocating stroke. So this is termed as double acting compressor. Once again I will try to repeat that this construction is similar to that of the single acting, but here the valve arrangement which you are seeing is somewhat different. So during every stroke there will be a suction and during every stroke there will be a delivery. So initially let us start from the beginning, that when piston is moving from left to right, when piston is moving from left to right, what will happen? This valve will act as a suction, so air from this port will enter to this on this side, and whatever the air is sucked, it will be collected on the rod side of the piston. Now during the second stroke, that when it is moving from right to left, at that time whatever the air is stored here, that will be delivered through this port, and here the suction will be created, and so the air will enter through this port. Now as soon as it reaches to the bottom position or extreme leftmost position, whatever the air is collected during the suction, now it will start delivering when this moves from left to right. When it moves from left to right, whatever the air on the piston side is filled, that will be delivered from this port, and again here the suction will take place. So the air from this valve will enter suction on this side. So what is the advantage of that? Here you can see the pulsation of air can be reduced, that whatever the air is delivered from the compressor, that we get continuously, means there won't be the gap during suction and delivery stroke. So in order to get the continuation of air and reduce the pulsation, that the quantity of air which is delivered at every stroke, the double acting compressor is used. Even the advantage of this is that in very short duration of time we can store more amount of air, because in every stroke the air is sucked and at every stroke the air is delivered, while in single acting compressor only the stroke or the air is sucked during suction stroke and air is delivered to the delivery stroke. So 0 to 180 degree will be suction and 180 to 360 will be delivery. Here 0 to 180 degree will be suction as well as delivery on the other side, and from 180 to 360 there will be a suction and delivery on the other side. So this is the advantage of the double acting compressor. Now the next one is multi-stage compressor. As the pressure of the air increases, its temperature rises. It is essential to reduce the air temperature to avoid the damage of compressor and other mechanical element. Friends, I told you that as the pressure increases, volume decreases, the temperature of air rises. This rise in temperature should be controlled. If it is not controlled, it will damage the components of the pneumatic system. The multi-stage compressor with an intercooler in between is shown in the figure. So here you can say this is the cylinder stage 1 and this is the stage 2. So this is similar to that of single stage, and this is also similar to that of single stage. Now what happens? This air or this unit is somewhat bigger in size as compared to stage 2. The reason is that once the air entering to the stage 1 compressor, the volume of air is reduced, and as the volume of air is reduced, the second stage compressor is of a smaller size. Now how it works? As piston moves from top dead center to the bottom dead center in this first stage, the air is sucked, and from when it moves from bottom dead to top dead center, the air is delivered. So when air is delivered, the temperature of this delivered air in the stage 1 is somewhat higher as compared to the suction. So whatever the temperature is raised here, it is necessary that that temperature should be reduced before it enters to the stage 2. So whatever the air is passing through the intercooler, there will be drop in the temperature, and that again the cold air will enter to the second stage with higher pressure as compared to the inlet of the stage 1. स्टेज 1 कंप्रेसर में जो एयर जिस इन स्टेज 1 द एयर इनलेट वाज एट द एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर, एंड इन स्टेज 2 द प्रेशर ऑफ एयर विल बी इक्विवेलेंट टू डिलीवरी प्रेशर ऑफ द स्टेज 1. तो इसका जो डिलीवरी प्रेशर है उसी प्रेशर से यहाँ पे मोर और लेस इक्वल टू दैट. So whatever the air is stored in the second stage, it is somewhat higher. So the stage 1 is termed as low pressure stage, and stage 2, second stage, is termed as high pressure. What is the advantage of this? The advantage is that at the delivery, means at the outlet end, we get the high pressurized air with low temperature, because if we go for the same outlet pressure, the size of compressor increases and the temperature also will increase. So if we need very high pressure, the multi-stage compressor is one of the best suitable compressor which is used nowadays in the industry. It is used to reduce the temperature of the compressed air during the compression stage. The intercooler reduces the volume of air which is used to increase due to heat. Now whatever the volume is reduced, it will reduce because of the decrease in the heat. So as the temperature drops, somewhat volume also will be decreased, so we can compress it and get the higher pressure. The compressed air from the first stage enters in the intercooler where it is cooled. This air is given as input to the second stage where it is compressed again. So as I told you, here twice the compression takes place of the particular air. So as compared to this intake, the outtake pressure will be twice the stage 1, or depends on the design of the compressor which we have taken into the consideration. So nowadays these type of compressors are commonly used in the industry, and they are driven by a common crankshaft. In our institute also we are having a 2-stage multi-stage compressor which is available in the DOM lab or pneumatics and hydraulic lab also. The multi-stage compressor can develop a pressure around 50 bars. So this is when a higher pressure is required, this stage is, or this multi-stage compressor is used. Now, combined two-stage compressor. In this type, two-stage compression is carried out by using the same piston as shown in figure. Initially, when the piston moves down, air is sucked in through the inlet valve, and during the compression process the air moves out of the exhaust valve into the intercooler. So here you can see this is the double diameter piston. So when from top dead to bottom dead center, the air is entering to in this chamber, and when this chamber when it moves up, the air is transferred through the intercooler. It means whatever the air is discharged through this, passing through the intercooler, and it will enter here, and thereafter it will compress and move out. So during suction it will enter here, during compression it will be discharged here, and as soon as this reaches at this position, whatever the air is sucked here will be compressed and delivered out, and whatever the air is delivered in the stage 1, it will pass through the intercooler. So this is a combined two-stage compressor. Here only one piston cylinder and one connecting rod is used. Only that piston are of two different diameters. So what happens, for this piston this is the chamber, and for this piston this is the chamber. So here only this whatever the air is delivered through this port passing through the intercooler will be sucked here and discharged here during the reciprocating motion. So this is how the combined two-stage compressor. It is operated by a single connecting rod only, but piston diameter, there are two different piston diameters. As the piston moves further, the stepped head, this is termed as a stepped head, provides on the piston, moves into the cavity, thus causing the compression of air. Then this is let out by the exhaust port. So this is the exhaust port. So there is only one inlet and one outlet, but internally the air is twice entering into the chamber when compressing and moving forward. So this is how the compression of two-stage takes place. Now diaphragm type compressor. These are small capacity compressor. In piston compressor, the lubricating oil from the piston's wall may contaminate the compressed air. The contamination is undesirable in food, pharmaceuticals and chemical industry. See, in reciprocating type compressor, this is one of the drawback, that during the suction or during the reciprocating, of course there is a friction, and because of the friction there are chances of that some oil drop contamination of air in the chamber, or the oil droplet in the air get mixed, and this type of things are not means they are strictly prohibited in the food industry as well as pharmaceutical and some chemical industry. So in order to overcome that difficulty or that problem, the diaphragm type compressor is used. Diaphragm type compressor, it has a piston reciprocated by a motor driven crankshaft. As a piston moves down, it pulls the hydraulic fluid down, causing the diaphragm to move along and the air is sucked in. So you can see here, this is the fluid entering it, this is the diaphragm. So here during the suction, whatever the fluid is there, it will create a vacuum here, and as the vacuum is created, this diaphragm will move in downward position. Whatever the air will enter in the space, in this space above the diaphragm, this bluish space you are seeing, and thereafter as the piston moves up, it will push this hydraulic fluid in upper direction, and this diaphragm with the black color line which you are seeing, that is the diaphragm, it will push in upward direction, and as it pushes in upward direction, the air will move out through this yellow port. So these are very low pressure type diaphragm type pump. The main advantage is here there is no air is not coming in contact with the fluid, or there is no such reciprocating part which contaminates the oil in the air. So there are two different chambers, and it is a perfectly oil seal separate separated chamber. So no single oil drop will enter in the above of the diaphragm. So this is a type of compressor, means it is termed as a diaphragm compressor, which is used in the food as well as pharmaceutical or some other chemical industries where the contamination of oil is strictly prohibited in the air. When the piston moves up, the fluid pushes the diaphragm up, causing the ejection of the air from the outlet port. Since the flexible diaphragm is placed in between piston and the air, no contaminants takes place. So this is one of the advantage of the diaphragm type compressor. The next one is screw compressor. The piston compressor are used when the high pressure and relatively low volume of air is needed. The system is complex as it has many moving parts. For medium flow and pressure applications, screw compressor can be used, and it is simple in construction with less number of moving parts. The air delivered is steady with no pressure pulsation. So you can see here, this is a type of screw compressor. This is the driving shaft which drives the compressor. This is the casing. So there are the two compressors. This is the driver shaft and this is driven shaft. So when they rotate, whatever the air is sucked here, that air will passes through the fillet of the meshing screw, and that air will be delivered through this port. So this is again a very low pressure type compressor used where reciprocating components are not utilized. The air delivered is steady with no pressure pulsation. It has two meshing screws. So you can see here, this is one screw, this is second screw. Only power is given to only one screw, and that as it is meshed with this driver screw, this will rotate automatically. Air from the inlet is trapped between the meshing screw and is compressed. So these are the two fillet of the screw in which the air is entrapped and that air is being compressed. The contact between the two meshing surface is minimum, hence no cooling is required. So this system are quite in operation compared to the piston type. The screw are synchronized by using external timing gears. So here they can use an external timing gear when to open the inlet valve and when to open the outlet valve. So this is how the screw compressor is being used nowadays in the industry. The next type is rotary vane type compressor. The principle of operation of vane compressor is similar to that of hydraulic vane pump. When we were seeing the vane pump in hydraulic system, we have gone through this pump. The figure shows the working principle of rotary vane compressor. The unbalanced vane compressor consists of spring-loaded vanes sitting in the slot of the rotor. The pumping action occurs due to the movement of the vane along a camring, and the rotor is eccentric to the camring. So here this is the diagram of the rotary vane compressor. Many times you have gone through this diagram. These red color devices which you see, they are the vanes. This is a vane holder, and here the yellow portion, it is a spring. Because of the centrifugal action and spring force, this will move to the outward direction as they are rotating. Now whatever the air is entering in this chamber, it will get compressed, and after compressing it will be delivered through outlet valve. So whatever the air is entrapped here, you can see the volume is more, and as it moves the volume decreases, and here the air is compressed and later on it is delivered through the outlet valve. In order to obtain this compression action, the rotor is located at the eccentricity, that is mentioned here. The rotor is eccentric to the cam ring. So this is the reason why the eccentricity is required. Because of this eccentricity action only, the internal casing volume varies when the vane rotates, and this rotation or this variation in the volume will result to the suction and delivery of the you can say pressurized air, the air which is sucked at the normal atmospheric pressure, and the air which is the pressurized air which is released. As the rotor rotates, the vane follows the inner surface of the cam ring. So this is the cam ring, and the green color you can see it is the cam ring. Here you can see this outer surface of one black color ring you can see here of the cam ring. The space between the vane decreases near the outlet due to the eccentricity. This causes the compression of the air. These compressors are free from pulsation of if the eccentricity is 0, no flow takes place. So in order to allow the flow, the eccentricity is must. Then and then only we can have. These are also again commonly used nowadays in the industry. The vane type compressors are most popular compressors used where continuous flow of air is required. Liquid ring vane type compressor. This is a unique type of compressor which is used nowadays in the industry. Liquid, you can say liquid ring vane compressor is a variation of the vane compressor. So it is somewhat you can say modification of the vane type compressor. The figure shows the construction of a liquid ring compressor. The casing is filled with a liquid up to the rotor center. The air enters the compressor through the distributor fixed to the compressor. During the impeller rotation, the liquid will be centrifuged along the inner ring of the casing to form the liquid ring. There are two suction and discharge ports provided in the distributor. So here you can see this is the impeller, this is the casing, here this is the compressed air, and here the white color which you are seeing, this is the liquid which is filled inside, this is the liquid ring, and the whatever the liquid ring is a kind of casing which provides. So the liquid ring will form you can say the casing which will entrap the air in between. Here you can say suction air from the inlet. So here whatever this blue spot you are seeing, that is the amount of air which is entering is the terms of bubbles, and thereafter as it moves further, the red color air, that is the pressurized or compressed air, and which is delivered out at a high pressure. So this is somewhat an advanced version of the vane type compressor. During the first quarter of the cycle, the air is sucked in both suction chamber of the casing, and during the second quarter of the, so this is the 1 quarter, the yellow portion you can see the 90 degree, it is 1 quarter, and for other 90 degree, that is the green color you are seeing, that is the discharge. So this is the second quarter of the cycle. The air is compressed and pushed out through two discharge port. So here you can see the red color spots, this is the air bubbles or air which is pressurized and delivered out. So here the main advantage of it is that we get the high pressurized air as compared to the normal vane compressor in the we can say in the atmosphere, in the industry. So whatever the air is entering as compared to the vane type compressor, the discharge volume or discharge pressure of this is much more higher than that of the normal vane compressor. So This is the type of vane compressor. During the third and fourth quarter of the cycle, the process is repeated. This type of compressor has no leakage and has minimal friction. So as it is there are rotating parts, there is very less friction in the system. For smooth operation, the rotation speed is around 3000 rpm. You can see how fast it is rotating. The delivery pressure is low, about 5 bar, which is somewhat higher than that of the normal vane pump as compared to the ordinary vane pump. Again, both the liquid and both the type vane pumps are a low pressure, but as compared to normal vane pump, liquid ring type vane pump compressor delivers somewhat high pressure than that of the normal vane pump. The lobe type compressor, you are familiar with this. I'll just go to the diagram. These are the two lobes. This one is the driver, another is driven lobe. Whatever the air is entering, the close contact of the lobe will manage the, you can say, sealing of the air and not providing air to pass through this. And during this rotation, whatever the air is entering will compressed and delivered at the outlet. The figure shows the construction and working of the lobe compressor. It is similar to that of lobe pump, again used in the hydraulic system. The operation is limited by leak between the rotor and housing. As wear increases and the efficiency falls rapidly. So thank you very much for watching this video. I also request you all to subscribe our channel SSIT.GANDHINAGAR. Thank you.